Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDN TV Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button and be the first to get notifications. And now, let's join ace broadcaster MAMODE AKUGHA as he takes us inside the Niger Delta.
Hello out there and welcome. It's Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Niger's oil-rich region. I'm your regular host, MAMODE AKUGHA.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Women farmers in the Niger Delta have identified factors such as limited access to farmlands, inadequate incentives, and environmental pollution as some of the major constraints hindering their effective participation and productivity in the agricultural sector. The women who spoke to our correspondent across some states of the Niger Delta are therefore calling on the government and other development partners to intervene and bring an end to these challenges through targeted support and policies that promote women's inclusion in agriculture.
The Niger Delta, though richly endowed with hydrocarbon deposits, also boasts of vast arable land suitable for agriculture. However, despite this natural advantage, Nigeria's dependence on crude oil as its primary source of revenue has left the potential of agriculture largely untapped. According to a recent report by the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations, Nigeria faces severe food insecurity, with about 30.6 million Nigerians struggling to feed themselves. The situation is even worse in the Niger Delta, where land pollution caused by oil exploration has made farming increasingly difficult. Some agricultural experts and women farmers who spoke with Inside the Niger Delta last week said the worst hit by this crisis are women.
Women are very versatile in agricultural endeavor in the Niger Delta. But of recent, we have issues of flooding and this oil on the surface of the waters that will no longer see fishes and all other seafoods to farm. Yes, we also have constraints of land ownership as women because of some cultural dictates.
They should give them farming tools. We're not even talking of mechanized tools. There are some women who fish. Their nets are broken. They have patched the net and patched the net.
Data from the Foundation for Partnership Initiatives in the Niger Delta, PIND, shows that rural women in Nigeria account for approximately 70% of the agricultural labor force and over 80% of food production. However, with very little support from the government, the women have not been able to achieve much in addressing food security challenges and further contribute to the overall growth of the economy.
We have seen that women are competent enough. They are capable in this agriculture. We need to work together with these women farmers more.
In fact, men have virtually left farming for women and fishing for women, even in the riverine communities. So women's ability to farm must be enhanced so that we can get better yields and there will be food security.
So if governments can help us, acquire land for women to farm, there will be a lot of food for people to eat and the economy will also be boosted.
Other stakeholders also highlighted the crucial role of women across the entire agricultural value chain.
When you produce and there's nobody to harvest, or there's nobody to process, or there's nobody to market, all the effort you put in at the production level will be a waste. So women are very, very important.
They say that in addition to the vital role women play in addressing hunger, their involvement is also key to preserving quality indigenous seeds and traditional farming practices that are beneficial to the sustainability of the agricultural sector and food security in the region.
Inside the Niger Delta.
The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, Dr. Samuel Ogbuku, says the Commission is determined to ensure that the Niger Delta becomes self-sufficient in food production and prepared for a future beyond oil. Dr. Ogbuku made this known last week during a two-day engagement with commissioners and permanent secretaries from ministries of agriculture as well as other stakeholders from the 9 states of the region, which was held in Port Harcourt, River State.
Over the course of the two-day engagement, delegates from each state discussed their unique challenges and proposed ways government agencies like the NDDC and other investors could collaborate to boost agricultural productivity in the region.
We can diversify into agriculture and encourage our young people so we can take their mind off the get-rich-quick syndrome. If we can encourage them in modern farming methods like hydroponics, like vertical farming, then we can achieve more.
The prospects are very high that this initiative, if followed with the required commitments, I can sense a determination. Ultimately, the Niger Delta people and Nigerians also will begin to see the benefits.
The Executive Director of Projects of the NDDC, Sir Victor Antai, said beyond just brainstorming, the Commission would aggregate the inputs and recommendations of the people into a policy framework that will guide the sector.
This session provides us with a rare opportunity to align our efforts from state governments and private investors to research institutions and our energetic youth towards a coordinated agricultural transformation plan.
For the Chief Executive Officer of the NDDC, Dr. Samuel Ogbuku, the initiative aligns with President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, particularly in promoting food availability and sustainability.
We're even going as far as putting together researchers and consultants that will come up with an empirical study of the agricultural potentials in the Niger Delta, so that will serve as a guide for prospective investors. So for those who intend to invest in cassava, they know where to go to. For those who are interested in investing in palm oil, they know where to go to.
He added that the Commission is already partnering with several stakeholders to leverage agriculture in creating job opportunities in the region, as well as to ensure it begins to generate foreign exchange earnings for the country.
We will partner with the Origin Group, but we're also going to support them so that we can have food hub in the Niger Delta. This will be able to trigger the production of food in Niger Delta. So that rather than we having various bush markets in different places, we can have some food hub in the Niger Delta where they will have good preservation system.
At the end of the engagement, the people left with not just a promise, but a commitment from the NDDC to continue to galvanize other stakeholders to invest in the agricultural value chain in the Niger Delta.
Inside the Niger Delta. Ezekiel Group, oil and gas, dredging, power and air transportation. Ezekiel Group, petroleum product sufficiency, energy sustainability and infrastructure development.
With a little over 2 years still left for his administration in Bayelsa State, Governor Doyediri says he will continue to invest in infrastructure development across the oil-rich state until his last day in office. Governor Diri restated this resolve in China, where he signed a memorandum of understanding with the China Civil Engineering Construction Company, CCECC.
Governor Doye Diri of Bayelsa State, who recently amplified the call for environmental justice at a gathering in Shanghai, China, also met with the management of China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation, CCECC, at its global headquarters in Beijing, China. The Chinese firm is currently undertaking a number of projects in the oil-rich state in Nigeria, including the all-important Angiama-Oporoma Bridge connecting the state capital, Yenagoa, to the coastal southern Ijaw local government area. Governor Diri, who signed a memorandum of understanding with the construction company, highlighted the areas of possible partnerships to include access roads, agriculture, and housing.
Our MOU will be in the process that we will also look at financing some of these projects. Because the state government may not have all the money to finance all of these projects. And so we will agree on the financing models. We will also agree on the investment models, so that you are now seen more as investors and financiers also, not only as contractors.
The governor also welcomed the firm's proposal for a fertilizer plant and other mechanized agricultural ventures in the states.
Fertilizers, yes. Yes, it's something that we can agree to work together. What interests me most is agriculture, mechanized agriculture. And I believe that this is one area that we are even prepared to sign an MOU in agriculture and maybe aquaculture if you have the capacity. Aquaculture.
The management of the firm pledged to continue expanding the boundaries of China-Nigeria cooperation with its engagement with the Bayelsa state government. Meanwhile, Governor Diri also announced that President Bola Tinubu would be invited to inaugurate the Angiama-Oporoma Bridge under construction by the Chinese firm in February next year as part of activities for his 6th anniversary in office. Inside the Niger Delta.
The leadership of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, has reaffirmed its commitment to empowering young people across the region with relevant skills and training. Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Commission, Dr. Samuel Obuku, made this known last week in Port Harcourt during the graduation ceremony of 100 youths trained in fashion design.
Barely 2 months after the graduation of 300 youths from its Technical Skills Training Program, the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, has once again celebrated another milestone, this time graduating 100 beneficiaries from its fashion design training program in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. The 6 months intensive program is focused on equipping young people with skills in fashion and design. As part of the graduation ceremony, the leadership of the commission inspected some of the products made by the trainees. In his address, the Managing Director of the NDDC, Dr. Samuel Obuku, pointed out that the training is part of a broader initiative of the Intervention Agency to ensure that young people are engaged in various innovations across the region.
We are committed to ensuring that we skill the youths of Niger Delta. All these are now fused into our youth internship scheme, because we have to collapse the Project Hope and now brought them and youth internship scheme into the Niger Delta Renewed Hope Youth Empowerment Scheme. So it is aimed at empowering the youths of the Niger Delta.
Beneficiaries were given starter packs including power generating sets, sewing machines and other kits to help them kickstart their businesses. The NDDC boss then charged them to make the most of the opportunity.
When it comes to fashion, fashion has no boundary. It has to do with your innovation. Do not also limit yourself to what you have been trained for. Also go through the internet and look at new challenges, new designs. Always challenge yourself to do those things which you think is not possible.
Full of gratitude to the Intervention Agency for giving them the head start in their journey, they promised to make the best of the opportunity.
It's a very wonderful opportunity And I want to say thank you to NDDC for giving us the best.
God passed through the NDDC to answer my prayer, so I feel so happy and excited.
In another development, the NDDC, led by its Managing Director Dr. Samuel Obuku, received the Controller General of the Nigerian Correctional Service, Sylvester Ndidi Nwakuche, at the Commission's corporate headquarters in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Top on the agenda was how the NDDC can partner with the Correctional Service in order to ensure the proper training and rehabilitation of inmates, most of whom are indigents across facilities in the region.
80 to 83% of inmates in incarceration in facilities within those states are indigents of those states. So if we train them well and they come out, sir, we will sleep with our two eyes closed. But if we don't, they come out and they begin to venge and learn kind of vengeance in the society.
Look at some of our programs to see if the law also permits us to incorporate some of these inmates who are in correctional facilities, such as our youth internship scheme, if it is something that they could participate.
The Commission further noted that it is committed to ensuring that inmates serving their terms acquire valuable skills and competences that will help them restart meaningful lives and contribute to the overall development of their communities and the region at large.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Some political leaders and residents in Calabar, the Cross River State capital, said they are hopeful that the 780.59 billion naira 2026 budget estimate recently presented by Governor Basio II to the State House of Assembly will further reposition the state on the path of sustainable growth and development. They shared their optimism with our correspondent Elijah Willie in the state capital Calabar last week.
In Cross River, one of the Niger Delta states, the governor, Senator Basio II, last week set before the State Assembly a budget proposal of 780.59 billion naira.
As indicated above, we have continued to prioritize capital expenditure over the budget. This is a deliberate policy direction so as to align with our vision of robust healthcare delivery, agricultural revolution, educational development, social protection, initiative, industrialization, and human capital.
With the state government earning between 8 and 10 billion naira each month from the federal purse, the governor revealed that the 2026 proposed budget is designed to strengthen internally generated revenue mechanisms. The low allocation to Cross River State when compared to other Niger Delta states could be traced to the Green Tea Agreement ratified in 2006, which handed over the Bakassi Peninsula to Cameroon. This then led to a Supreme Court judgment in 2012 that transferred offshore oil wells previously in control of the state to neighboring Akwa Ibom state on the grounds that Cross River was no longer a coastline state. While this remains contentious and disputed to this day, the attendant loss of the 13% derivation fund has left the state struggling with poverty and widespread infrastructure deficits. Reacting to the state of affairs in Cross River and the budget proposal, some political leaders and ordinary citizens told our correspondents that prudent implementation and transparent monitoring of these budgets, when approved, could bring some reprieve to the people in the state.
He is a very realistic administrator. He didn't just package those budgetary provisions for the sake of budget. He has put in place a blueprint to implement every aspect of the budget. And I can bet you or bet anybody who cares to listen in Cross River State that this budget will surpass even that of 2025.
But having known what is happening in Nigeria recently, the economy cold drum has really eaten up with people, but with the present implementation by His Excellency Senator Ambassador, I think within the next few months from today, by the special grace of God, Cross River State will have reason to smile.
Inside the Niger Delta.
As Nigeria's education sector continues to grapple with numerous challenges, The efforts of the Niger Delta Development Commission NDDC are making a notable difference across the country's oil-rich region. Education experts say the Commission's interventions, ranging from infrastructure development to teacher training and other critical educational support, should be sustained and even expanded to ensure access to quality education for the region's growing young population.
Recent data from the United Nations Children's Education Fund, UNICEF, in Nigeria says 1 out of every 5 out-of-school children in the world is in Nigeria. A total of about 10.5 million children are said to be roaming the streets, even though primary education is officially free and compulsory. Despite efforts by development stakeholders like the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, to salvage the situation across the country's oil-rich region, the situation persists due to what many, like Comrade Felix Akinate, lecturer at Adeyemi Federal University of Education, Ondo State, says it is poverty and accumulated years of negligence.
Once the money is not there, the parents don't have enough to be able to send their children to school, and as soon as they cannot send them to school, they will start following their parents to farm or for fishing or whatever. So it's increasing, and it's as a result of the fact that education is becoming expensive and the succor that's supposed to come from the government is not there. And once you don't have the ability to send your children to school, definitely they'll be out of school.
The challenges may be enormous, but Dr. Amogo Edgar from the same university observed that the efforts of the NDDC are making a difference across the educational space in the region.
NDDC has intervened there, building hostels, building classrooms, giving scholarships to outstanding students, and in some cases they are sponsoring some postgraduate programs for teachers and lecturers in some of those institutions. What NDDC is trying to do is to support the efforts of the government of the different states that are part of NDDC. It is not as if the responsibility of education should be left for the NDDC.
The NDDC has indeed continued to invest in the sector across all levels in its bid to facilitate the holistic development of largely backward communities across the 9 states of the region. These include its popular green roof classroom blocks constructed in rural communities to address the lack of conducive learning environments and other interventions in capacity development for teachers and provision of critical learning tools. The chief executive of the commission, Dr. Samuel Ubuku, who spoke about the need to ensure the proper education of every child in the region at a function some time back, gave the commitment of the NDDC to leaving no stone unturned in creating that environment for every Niger Delta child to access quality education.
These children who are boys today, the only way they can be better than us is only if they are well educated. Education will not fall from heaven. It is what we do that will put it into practice for them to be educated. Those schools who do not have laboratories, we are going to furnish the laboratories, equip them. So we are also going to improve on the learning aids and even the teachers of the schools.
Around that time, the NDDC, in partnership with the Renewed Hope Initiative, a pet project of the wife of President Bola Tinubu, launched and distributed 45,000 U-lesson educational tablets to pupils and students across public schools in the region. This is to complement the efforts of teachers by enabling students access to vital learning resources through a digital and interactive platform. The NDDC also recently built and handed over a state-of-the-art secondary school in Utuasega in Ogbia local government area of Bayelsa State. Meanwhile, the Director of Education, Health and Social Services at the Commission, Dr. George Uzowanne, who spoke on several initiatives of the NDDC across all levels of education in the region, outlined how its foreign postgraduate scholarship is changing the narrative when it comes to building critical manpower for now and the future.
Our scholars have been breaking records in the universities that they've been to or they are in overseas. We have a gentleman in Canada who did his PhD and was able to save the Canadian government from his design. We also have another gentleman from the Edo State in the same Canada who went to do his PhD in subsea engineering, but he was so good they gave him an extra PhD to do. It's unprecedented in the history of that particular school. These are people that might not have had this opportunity if the NDDC wasn't doing what it's doing.
However, stakeholders appealed for even more investment in the educational sector to better serve the people of the region.
I know the assignment is massive, but let them concentrate on infrastructure, especially nursery and primary schools, secondary schools. It's very, very important.
They can try to define and make the education there more robust by adding what we call more contemporary courses. We are happy to have the NDDC, and I must tell you, they need all the encouragement.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Professionals in the advertising industry last week gathered at the Sheraton Hotel in Lagos for the induction of 44 new fellows of the Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria, ARCON. The fellowship, which represents the highest recognition in the advertising profession, was bestowed on the inductees after an assessment of their contributions to the growth and development of advertising practice and business in Nigeria. Yours truly was among the inductees. We now bring you the sights and sounds from that induction ceremony.
My Niger Delta, me I love my Niger Delta. Come see my Niger Delta.
Consultant of MAMODE Communications Limited. Joined Dark Applications in February 1997. Upon the entrance of Dark Applications, and over the years he has served in various capacities and assignments, one of which is the Vatican. Married, and congratulations to you.
Next in line is going to be Stephen Oluwatoyin.
Congratulations to Stephen, the Managing Director of Media Reach OMD, Transformation Marketing and Media, global-minded, African-rooted, and reshaping the industry.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Well, that's the size of our package on the program for today. Kindly note that you can now also watch our program live on our YouTube channel at NDNTV Nigeria, Mondays at 9 p.m., Tuesdays at 9:20 p.m., and Wednesdays at 9:30 p.m. Please do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDNTV Nigeria for live updates and many more stories. Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region, will be back same time, same station next week. Until then, you can follow us on our social media handles shown right now on your screens. Until next week, I am MAMODE AKUGHA, thanking you for tuning in. Bye for now.